The Templin Institute has never been particularly secretive about our love for tanks, but in this economy, it's just not practical to drive one as part of your daily commute. Believe us, we've tried. Thankfully, the sponsor of this video has the solution. War Thunder is an online military vehicle combat game featuring an arsenal of more than 2,000 playable tanks, aircraft, helicopters, and warships from 10 different nations. You can take part in enormous combined arms warfare on over 100 battlefields spanning over a century of military development, from the 1920s all the way to the modern era. And as a stickler for realism, I'm particularly impressed by War Thunder's detailed and immersive damage model. There are few feelings as immensely satisfying as putting an APHE round directly in the driver's viewport of some poor sucker's tank. But the best part is, War Thunder is completely free to play, whether on PC, Xbox Series X or S, the PlayStation 5, or the previous console generation. And with cross-platform play, there's no issue commanding a squadron of tanks, planes, or ships with your friends and over 50 million other players. Use the link below to sign up and receive a bonus premium tank, aircraft, or ship, and a 3-day account boost.
The Primarchs were the greatest creations of the Emperor of Man. 20 engineered sons, in whom each the dream of their father was carried. They were bred to be perfect warriors, generals, diplomats, and statesmen, and each would find in the Imperium of Man a distinct role for which they were uniquely suited. Leman Russ, the Great Wolf, would find his calling as an executioner. How one Primarch might have fared against another in battle has always been a captivating field of study, bordering on heresy. There can be little doubt, however, that Leman Russ was amongst the finest warriors to ever serve the Emperor and his Imperium. On his ancient homeworld of Fenris, tales are told of how, as a young man, he single-handedly defeated entire armies of rival kings, while the Imperium still rejoices in victories Russ achieved during the Great Crusade. It is incontrovertible that untold numbers of heretics, Xenos, and demons fell to Russ's great weapons. Mjolnir, the Sword of Bale Knight, the murderous Axe of Hellwinter, or the masterly crafted bolter, Scornspitter. Yet, even if every tale is true, and tens of millions were vanquished by Russ alone, this grim tally is nothing, wholly insignificant, compared to the toll taken on the enemies of mankind by the machine that now bears his name. For though the Great Wolf vanished over 10 millennia ago, the terrible work he performed as executioner continues in the Leman Russ main battle tank. The most ubiquitous armored fighting vehicle within Imperial service, the Leman Russ can be found on nearly every battlefield across the galaxy. It has become famed for its versatility, fulfilling a wide variety of roles in every imaginable environment. Though primarily deployed by the Astra Militarum and the planetary defense forces of individual worlds, it is not unheard of for Leman Russ tanks to be operated by other Imperial institutions. Elements of the Adeptus Astartes, Adeptus Mechanicus, Militarum Tempestus, Legio Cybernetica, Adeptus Sororitas, and Adeptus Arbites have all been known to make use of the vehicle, either in special circumstances or as a permanent fixture in their operating forces. The Space Wolves chapter in particular was once known to have maintained a fleet of Leman Russ variants. This was a violation of the Codex Astartes that governed their military structure, but one overlooked to allow the sons of Leman Russ himself to utilize the namesake of their Primarch. In a notable stain on the vehicle's honor, Leman Russ tanks are also commonly appropriated by forces hostile to the Imperium. Its pervasiveness across the galaxy has ensured that it is routinely seized by heretics and traitors, or Xenos-backed cults that have overthrown Imperial worlds. The Tau Empire is known to make use of the tank within its human auxiliary forces, dutifully maintaining vehicles obtained from defecting Imperial units and planets. The Orcs likewise maintain a great love for the tank, salvaging wrecks or liberating Imperial vehicles whenever possible. These latter tanks are inevitably modified with bizarre additions or alterations, heavily degrading the vehicle's overall performance. Much of the success found by the Leman Russ tank is owed to its comparatively simple design and ease of operation. 7.08 meters long, 4.86 wide, 4.42 in height, and weighing roughly 60 tons, the vehicle is one of the smaller and more compact designs of its type, with an Imperial service. It can be operated by a crew of 4, with a commander, driver, main gunner, and loader. Its primary weapon is a 120mm smoothbore cannon, with a secondary hull-mounted las cannon or heavy bolter mounted on the vehicle's forward hull. Its plasteel armor is between 100 and 200mm thick, with protection prioritized on the vehicle's turret and front at the expense of its flanks and rear. With a properly tuned engine, a Leman Russ can attain speeds of roughly 70 km an hour, though in most cases, 30 km an hour is considered a more reliable top speed. In either case, it is capable of using almost any combustible liquid or fuel, with a range of roughly 170 Terran kilometers. Auspex multi-scanners and inertial dampening technology allow the vehicle to fire accurately even while moving quickly across unfavorable terrain. While these specifications represent the standard model of Leman Russ tank, it is impossible to know how many in service have actually been built to this standard. As with all materiel produced in such enormous numbers within the Imperium, there are significant variations in output from world to world, or even factory to factory. There is no aspect of a Leman Russ that might not be changed to take advantage of readily available local resources, or circumvent ongoing shortages. In the same way, the methods by which the vehicles are produced can drastically affect their final condition and attributes. A Leman Russ tank constructed by a rudimentary factory on a primitive, feudal world might be unrecognizable when compared to those manufactured by designated forge worlds of the Adeptus Mechanicus. As a consequence, each production line features its own unique quirks and eccentricities. Most of these are merely cosmetic, while some can deeply affect the performance of the vehicle itself. 33 patterns are recognized by the Adeptus Mechanicus, but the true number is certainly far higher, and potentially in the tens of thousands. Mars Alpha pattern Leman Russ tanks are known to have a slightly larger chassis, allowing for greater crew comfort and additional communications equipment. Solar patterns, by contrast, were first built for the ancient Solar Auxilia regiments of the Imperial Army, and fitted with greater survival and exploration systems. It is the alteration of the tank's armament, however, that has resulted in the majority of Leman Russ variants. These are typically designated within Imperial service by an affix applied to the Leman Russ name. Among the most common is the Leman Russ Demolisher, replacing its standard issue 120mm cannon with a larger bore but shorter ranged howitzer intended to destroy fortified positions. The Punisher is an anti-infantry tank with a single turret-mounted Gatling gun, while the rarer Vanquisher is equipped with a longer-barreled anti-tank cannon. Leman Russ Incinerators, Huntsmen, Exterminators, Eradicators, Annihilators, and hundreds of other variants are all less common, specializing in everything from tank hunting to the eradication of macro-predators. Other prominent variations include heavy bolter or flamer weapon sponsons to either side of the vehicle, increasing its crew to 6, though severely limiting their ability to evacuate the tank during an emergency. Less obvious alterations might be the addition or removal of track guards, auger arrays, dozer blades, searchlights, minesweepers, single-use hunter-killer missiles, or pintle-mounted small arms or light weapons. Furthermore, Leman Russ tanks are consistently given field modifications by their respective crews, often forms of local camouflage or supplementary improvised armor. The enormous number of Leman Russ variants, the disparity across its production lines, and the diverse threats it is expected to confront makes the overall effectiveness of the vehicle difficult to ascertain. On most battlefields, it has developed a reputation as reliable and adaptable, resilient even in the face of the most powerful enemy weaponry, while delivering fearsome firepower in return. Here, even a single Leman Russ can provide an enormous boost in morale to its accompanying infantry. In other theaters, it is widely despised as a cumbersome, slow vehicle whose prominent silhouette makes it an easy target and more of a danger to its own crew than the enemy. Generally, the Imperium has found the Leman Russ to be effective in most conditions, and it continues to fulfill a key role with an Imperial strategy and capabilities. When possible, it is most successful when part of a mechanized vanguard advancing across open terrain, or when supported by infantry or other vehicles in less favorable battlefield conditions. A Leman Russ will ultimately only be as effective as its accompanying elements. The Leman Russ has been in continuous production and operation for over 10,000 years, and predates the foundation of the Imperium itself. It was likely developed at some point in the Dark Age of technology, and then lost during the Age of Strife that followed. It was rediscovered by the Space Wolves Legion in their liberation of Nova Borilia, a Xenos-infested hive world. The vehicle's specifications were included in the surviving fragments of an ancient Standard Template Construct, or STC. Grateful to have this piece of lost knowledge returned to them, the Mechanicum of Mars honored the Space Wolves by naming the tank for their Primarch, Leman Russ. Despite unfounded rumors that the design had in fact been that of ancient agricultural equipment, the Leman Russ main battle tank found immediate success at the forefront of the Great Crusade. It was used by both the Loyalists and traitors during the Horus Heresy, and has been present in every war fought by the Imperium across the millennia that followed. Leman Russ tanks roared across the wastes of Armageddon and the killing fields of Vrax. They scoured the surface of 1,000 worlds during the Makarian Crusade and endured the heavy toll of the Sabbat worlds. They have dueled with the eldritch machines of the Drukhari and stood firm against the endless swarms of the Tyranid hive fleets. There is no foe they have not met in battle, and spoken to the enemy in the words of the Great Wolf himself: "Here I am, and here shall I die."
Thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring our investigation into the Leman Russ main battle tank. Use the link in the description to download War Thunder on your platform of choice, because 1 hour after this video is released, we'll be streaming War Thunder on our Twitch channel. We'd love to get a Templin Institute battalion up and running, so hop in your tank of choice and we'll see you on the battlefield.